So we keep speaking about this be, do, have thing, but let's focus on the becoming aspect, the be. Let's actually rebuild our identity. How does one go about that? Have you ever noticed when you look and you reflect on your life, like look at the month we're in now. If you rewind, think about the last time you maybe made a New Year's resolution. 2 months after that resolution, same thing. Motivation. It was a buzz. It wasn't a decision that you made because you didn't do any building. You didn't do any identifying. You didn't do any replacing. You didn't recognize anything. So it was just motivation. It was a buzz. You waited until it hit 11:59. You said you're going to do X, Y, and Z. 2 weeks, 2 months, you're done. Memberships are cancelled and all these types of things. Back into the same old cycle. And for some people, it doesn't matter if the people change. It doesn't matter if the environment, the school, the people, the relationship, it doesn't matter. Same results. So then maths, simple maths. What's the common denominator? You, me. We change, we move, same results. So it's not the other person. And that's a fact that I want to tell you. It has nothing to do with the other person, and it has everything to do with you. We spoke about the inner world already. What you're experiencing in life has nothing to do with anything outside of you. It has everything to do with you, how you perceive life, how you view it, and most importantly, how you view yourself. Because people interact with you based on how you see yourself. If I see myself as unworthy, I'll be treated the same way. Simple. You're just living on autopilot. No intentionality at all. There's nothing intentional about anything that's being done. We're just living. We're just moving. Whatever happens, happens. Just vibing. But the moment you start to identify and understand your blueprint, it can be rewritten. So if you think of your mind like a house, like a building, maybe you've played Sims, maybe you haven't. You are able to choose where the things go. Imagine you've got your dream house, penthouse, or your 5 bedroom mansion, whatever it might be. You can choose where the sofa goes. You can choose where you put the TV. You can choose where you put the massive bed. You can choose where you put whatever you want. You can choose whether you park the car inside the house next to the swimming pool, you park it you choose where it goes. So what's used to decide where things go is called a blueprint. It's a map which will showcase to the people that are actually designing the house where the things are going to go. So in that same context, you decide what you want to build. You decide also what you want to avoid. You decide what you want to see. And the proof that you decide what you want to see is based on your algorithm. The things that are on your For You page, the things that are coming up on your YouTube are the things that you want to see. So nobody can go onto their account and give their phone to somebody else and then act surprised when people say, whoa, like, why is this? No, 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 no. It's because you like that content. That's what interests you. So that's what you want to see, and that's your blueprint. You're molding and shaping what you see. So then when you go outside and those are the types of things you interact with, it's not a surprise, it's not a coinky dink. That's what you like. So you interact with it in your reality. You decide where and who and what makes you feel safe. Some of those things are healthy and some of those things are harmful. You decide where you feel exposed. And for many of us, we didn't decide our blueprint. It was handed down to us. Childhood, parents, environments. Somebody said that we're products of our environment. And 50% of that is true until you become aware of the things that we're teaching here. And then you realize that you have a decision that you can make. So you might not be responsible for where you are now, but you are ultimately responsible for where you end up. That's a decision that you can make. You are not bound by the environment or by the four walls that you live in within your room or within your house. You can do whatever. And it's down to you to decide whether you want to be used like a puppet or whether you want to be the one that is in control. And the way that you put yourself into the place of control where you don't allow your emotions to steer the ship is by going through this process. In this blueprint, there's different sets of patterns. In these patterns, it determines how you do the following things. It determines how you love. It determines how you work. It determines how you fight for things. It determines how you react under pressure. It determines how you choose your friend. It determines how you choose the goals, your ceiling, the ceiling that you've set for yourself. And by ceiling, I mean how far and how high you can go in life. And it's basically like a user manual, a guidebook that you can't actually see, but it's the thing that is influencing the decisions that you make. So it's something behind the scenes that is guiding and influencing the decisions that you make. And because people aren't intentional, they don't have a guidebook. They don't have standards. They don't have values that they go by that determine the decisions that they make. So they just keep crashing the car. They keep repeating the same cycles. So within your mind, there are frameworks. And these frameworks are like notes. Let's say you have an Apple iPhone and you've got folders within your notes. So what your brain and what your mind will start to do is it will skim through these folders. So if in one of these folders within your mind, you have a belief that says that people always leave me, when somebody has standards for themselves, that will feel like rejection. When people say, or they have a tone that you're not used to, somebody says no to you, it will feel like neglect. It will feel like they're abandoning me. And then that could make you that, and then that could remind you of an experience that you had in your childhood. So you see how all these different types of things, we spoke about the brain, the different aspects within the brain. Then we start to now we're looking at the frameworks and the different things that are within your mind that are influencing the decisions that you make. What I'm trying to get you to see here is that you're not reacting to reality. You're reacting to a story that you have the ability to rewrite. So then you could then, once identifying that, if that is something that you experience, when people have standards for themselves that are healthy, it still for you feels like neglect and rejection. You can then identify that and start to analyze why do I feel like I'm alone and why am I not comfortable on my own and why am I not happy for someone else having standards for themselves that are healthy? And that's when it will take you through your own journey of understanding how to not only accept yourself, but to be content and at peace with yourself, which goes back to the wholeness. So maybe you thought you were whole, but then different situations in life will make you realize that, okay, hold on, I need to work on this part. We will always and forever be working on ourselves. There will never be a time where you'll be completely perfect and without flaws and without areas that you need to develop. So let me take you through a few traps that you can find and start to identify in your life that are actually within this hidden blueprint that you can't see, that's influencing your life. First one being the survival. You weren't taught to thrive, you were taught to survive. So growth doesn't feel comfortable to you, comfort does. So even though you want a specific goal, you want to get to B, but where you are at A, even though you know you need to change certain things and you want certain results, because of the discomfort that comes with getting to B, you choose to stay at A because thriving wasn't something that you were taught. So survival. Stage two, the second trap. So instead of doing things from a place of love towards yourself, compassion towards yourself, it's from a place of self-hate. So things aren't done from a place of self-respect. So then you then begin to burn out. You start to commit to things that you don't want to commit to, just simply for approval. And then what happens in the midst of doing things and becoming a yes person, a yes man, is that eventually there begins to be a distaste towards yourself because you know you're not being yourself. So at the end of the day, when you're on your own, you feel absolutely terrible. And the only person that you can blame in that instance is you, because it's you making the decisions. So the same person that can't say no is the same person that will feel shame. Free, approval. Everything you live for is acceptance. And I did say that majority of the things that people do are for validation and approval. But at this stage, you shapeshift. Any situation that you're presented in, you have mastered how to present yourself. So people in one area know you as this person, a different area know you as this person. Teachers and people that are older than you see you in one way. People your age see you in a different way, and you've lost yourself. So instead of learning how to present yourself towards different people, understanding that not everybody is at the same level, understanding the free relationships, the people that, number one, the people that are on your level, number two, the people that are above your level and could be seen as mentors that can help you get to where you want to get to. And then three, being the people that you pour into, the people that see you as mentors, instead of understanding how to maneuver and communicate and act in the presence of different people, you lose yourself. Going back to those things that you might have said last year, going into this one. Oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and we see the results. It didn't happen, or it didn't turn out the way that you expected, and it continues to happen. It's the same thing, same cycles, same patterns. Motivation is not the answer. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to be stirred up again. That's not the answer. That's not the missing key. That's not the missing ingredient. We both know that. You know that, and you didn't need me to tell you that. All it is emotions with words that you want to hear. So when you go to these places or you listen to these videos, the moment you hear it, there's a yes that goes off inside you within your nervous system that tells you yes this time, and it's not going to happen that time. Whereas wholeness within your identity remains, it stays. Even when you do notice other aspects within yourself that still need to develop, it still remains. There isn't a fluctuation, it doesn't shift when something happens. You don't lose your standards once someone comes into the room or when someone comes into your life. That's why there's these moments that we spoke about before where people seem like they have things together, then the next day it seems like they've run into a brick wall because they may be talented, but they're not whole. Life is not about you can't build life on temporary feelings and motivation. It's like trying to build a house with sand. And just because there's no water there, you think that it's stable until a monsoon comes, until a rainstorm tsunami turns up. And then you realize what seemed like a good structure because of the amount of years that it stayed there. You start to realize that, hold on, the foundations weren't put in place. So what you need is a blueprint that stays in place regardless of what life throws at it. So in every stage, write down what patterns keep repeating. Think about it. In your life, what patterns keep showing up? Whether it's in your discipline, money, relationships, the complaints from teachers, complaints at home. What are the repeated things you continuously keep on hearing? Then you have to ask yourself, where did you learn? Where did you learn this from? Where did you pick it up? Because someone taught you. It will only ever be three things. You've seen it, you've heard it, or somebody showed you. By seeing, that could be in person, it could be online. By hearing, it could be in person or online, or someone actively showed you. A difficult thing is it could be protecting you from something. So what is this pattern protecting? Maybe it's protecting you from shame and embarrassment. But then the last question you have to ask yourself is, what is the pattern costing you? Because if you don't figure out the cost, what is preventing you from being able to do, it will never hurt enough for you to actually make a decision. Because we don't make decisions based on emotion. We make decisions by being so distasteful with where we are now. or with what is going on that we are forced to then make a decision based on our standards, based on where we want to go, based on what we want to do in life, and based on the fact of not thinking about our emotions, not thinking about how we feel, but doing it anyway. So at the beginning, I said, how? And I'm going to show you now. So step one, you got to choose the identity that you're becoming. So it's not about what you want to have. I know we spoke about the be do have principle, but it's not about the result. It's about who you want to be. So write that down. Who do you want to be? Not about who you want to be known for and how people see. Who do you want to be? That's what matters most. When something you can be proud of, someone you can be proud of. And then the next stage or step is what kind of behaviors does this type of person present? So one of them could be mental. So mentally, how does this person show up? Are they unstable? Do they just speak whenever? Do they just shout out and or are they calm? Are they collected? Are they someone that is careful with the words that they with the words that they communicate? It could be physical. How do they present themselves? Is their shirt just untucked? Looks like they just don't care about anyone and anything or life, or are they presented nice and tidy? Are they presenting themselves as someone that is the tough guy? Or are they presenting themselves as somebody that cares about other people and would wait and allow somebody else to go first before they think physical? So we did one mental and we did about two or three physical in person. And then we're going to do one emotion. So how does this person regulate their emotions? Do they allow their emotions to get the better of them? And when they do feel like their emotions may be getting the better of them, how do they handle those situations? So going off the last one about emotional regulation, we go into step three. So you need to create a trigger plan. And what this trigger plan does is it creates a system for when you are able to identify the types of things that can show up in your life that could cause a bit of imbalance or it's not necessarily beneficial. What are you going to do in those situations to safeguard and prevent them from getting and spiraling out of control? So when I feel like X, Y, whatever it may be, is bubbling up, what am I going to do instead of what I used to do? So over a week, period of a week, track it. When you start to notice those things bubbling up, how did you react? How do you start showing up mentally? How do you start showing up emotionally? How do you start showing up in person? And then what I want you to do is think about how that causes you and makes you feel about yourself. Not about how other people start treating you, because they will start to treat you differently. Because now you're starting to be you. You're starting to be yourself. You're not allowing people to dictate and determine and influence you anymore. You're just being you. So people will start to treat you differently. You will fall out of certain friendship circles, but then the people that are meant for you will start to come in. Teachers will start to notice. Your parents will start to notice. The people you live with will start to notice. But it's about how you feel at the end of the day. So it's not about a new personality. It's just a new blueprint. The thing that was once invisible, now you can see it. And now you have the ability to rewrite that story.